Hello there guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 5 video on my channel. It is now spring / the hot season in Forza Horizon 5. This is the last week of the Series 12 Horizon Road Trip Series / update, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through the entire spring season, through the Forzathon events, the seasonal events, the challenges, the Hot Wheels events and the monthly events, the entire festival playlist, giving you tunes, tips and general guide on this season. If you do enjoy this video, then please do consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a like. And if you have any queries or any other comments, then feel free to use the comment section down below and we'll get a nice chat going. Before we get started, let's have a quick run through of this week's seasonal rewards. So for 20 points we have the brand new Nissan Sentra Nismo from 2018. This is returning from Forza Horizon 4, where it could be found in the car pass. However, it's now a new and exclusive car for Horizon 5, which is not available in the auto show and can only be found in the festival playlist, Forzathon shop and auction house. However, you're very unlikely to find it in the auction house, and if you do, it will be for a very high price. Then for 40 points we have the Ferrari 512 TR, which stands for Testa Rossa. This is another hard to find exclusive, again not available in the auto show, and was first introduced into Horizon 5 as an exclusive a few months ago. Both of these cars are available this week, and following this guide that I'm about to show you now, you'll be able to get these cars with absolutely no problem at all. Finally, before we get stuck into this video, we have the whole series rewards, and with it being the last week of the Horizon Road Trip Series 12 update, it is your last chance to get your hands on the Audi RS e-tron and the McLaren 765 LT. 80 points for the Audi and 160 points for the McLaren. There are only 65 points available in the spring season, so if you haven't got many points across summer, autumn and winter, you're probably unlikely to be able to unlock the Audi or the McLaren, but most likely the Audi. If you have a couple of points in the other seasons, you may be able to unlock that from following this video. If you are new around here, then your support is greatly appreciated, and it really does help me to motivate me to make these videos for you guys. And of course, if you are a regular to the channel, then of course I always appreciate you as well. So if you do enjoy these videos, and if you haven't not already, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 400 subscribers, and any support is greatly appreciated. I do apologise if you are new. I do quite often go out on massive tangents, and even though I try to make my videos shorter, they do end up being longer than I intend. So if this video is longer than 35 minutes, I do sincerely apologise, because I must have gone off on massive tangents throughout the making of it. Okay then, so let's start off with the first section of this week's festival playlist. There are 5 sections, and we're going to be starting off with the first, which is the Forzathon event. So we have the weekly Forzathon, the daily Forzathon challenges, and of course the Horizon Forzathon shop, where you can spend your Forzathon points. The first challenge then is the weekly #Forzathon challenge. This is called On The Run, and it will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist, and 80 Forzathon points, or double Forzathon points, 160 Forzathon points if you own the La Casa Solagera house. This house comes free with VIP, and it gets you double Forzathon points in any Forzathon related event, including Horizon Arcade. The first chapter is called Baby Godzilla, and wants you to own and drive the 1990 Nissan Pulsar GTI-R. And as suggested by the name, this is basically a baby Nissan GT-R. It is incredibly fast, and it's a very, very cool car to have in your garage. The Pulsar can be found in the auto show for a very mere 20,000 credits, and for the potential this car possesses, this is a very cheap price tag. It was of course an exclusive in Horizon 4 when it was first introduced into the Horizon franchise. However, it is now a very cheap auto show car in Forza Horizon 5 for you to get your hands on. If you're eagle-eyed, or if you've already completed this festival playlist, you may notice that the Pulsar is also available from the Blazer Trail Seasonal Championship, which we'll be covering later on in the video in the seasonal events section. Once you've got in your Nissan Pulsar, you might want to pop a tune on it to make this challenge a bit more fun and a bit more fast. If you want to do so, I do have a tune shared, which is near the top of S1 class. I can't remember the exact name, but it is shared under my gamertag Shylo 2017. It's not necessarily built for anything, because I actually built it for a speed trap. However, it will be able to complete these challenges to a fair standard. It might not be particularly decent for Chapter 3, which requires a dirt race. However, if you want to use a different tune or use your own tune, that is absolutely fine, but I would recommend recommend popping a tune on just to make the car a bit more fun and lively. Chapter 2 then is called Mini Skyline and wants you to win a street race. So if your tune is capable of street racing in some way or fashion, then this is going to be a blaze for you. I'd recommend heading over to the map and filtering to street racing just like I've done. I've also jumped ahead a step and filtered to dirt racing for the next chapter, and then you're going to want to pick your favourite street race. Now if you are new to the channel, you might not know that I am I have a very strong opinion on street races. I don't really like them, mainly because of the AI, because of the weird checkpoints, and the fact that none of them are circuits. I do understand the basic concepts of them, however, it's not my favourite. I prefer road racing and dirt racing. However, you just need to go ahead and pick any dirt race. If you've got ones like me that say new on them, maybe you might want to go ahead and pick one of them just so it gets the new badge off, because if I'm honest, the new does kind of annoy me, but because I don't like street racing, I haven't got rid of it yet. So go ahead and complete your street race. You can use any driver tag difficulty and any class for your Nissan Pulsar, but just make sure that you finish first. The third chapter is called A Teaser and wants you to win a dirt race. I'm actually not sure whether I pronounced that right, but I'm just pronouncing it as I think that it should be pronounced, which might be wrong, it might be right, but frankly I don't care. But I know somebody will probably correct me in the comment section. Similarly to the last chapter, hop over to your map and filter to dirt racing and then pick your favourite dirt race or just a dirt race that you fancy completing. If you don't like dirt racing, similarly to the way I don't like street racing, you might want to try and pick the shortest one, in which case I'd recommend going for a sprint over a circuit. So for example, we have the Baja California Trail. Go ahead, again with any difficulty and any class, just make sure that you win dirt race in your Nissan Pulsar against the driver tags. And the final chapter for the On The Run Weekly Forzathon Challenge is called Hottest Hatch and wants you to achieve a speed of 200 miles an hour or 322 kilometers per hour in your Nissan Pulsar. This will probably require tuning because I don't believe that the Pulsar can go 200 mile an hour stock. It'll probably get quite close because it's a very, very nippy hot hatch. However, I would recommend popping a tune on. Obviously my tune is built for a speed trap and therefore has quite a lot of top speed with 718 horsepower under its bonnet. However, if you want to build a specific top speed tune or tune it in a different way, then of course do go ahead, and there's absolutely no issues with that. I'd recommend heading over to the highway because that's going to be the easiest way you're going to achieve 200 miles an hour, especially as you can use the downhill section towards the end where the speed trap is, near the Moulage kind of area. Hit 200 miles an hour and that will be your On The Run Weekly Forzathon Challenge completed. 5 points towards the Fest playlist and 80 or 160 Forzathon points to spend in the Forzathon shop. Now we move on to the daily #Forzathon challenges. These pop up once a day at 2:30 PM BST, and that is until when the clocks go forward towards the end of the month. And they last for 7 days each. If you're like me, you might want to wait for a couple of them to unlock and be available for you to complete, and then you'll be able to complete a couple of them at once. And this means you don't have to force yourself to get on every day to complete them, or you can just go ahead and do other things, because then you can just complete the daily Forzathon challenges at once. Of course, all but the first one that's active now will run over into next season, so you will be able to use the View Series history to go back to check them if you want to complete them towards next season, to use the full 7-day ability that they possess. If you have any difficulties understanding them, what car you need to use, what you need to do in general, or you have a suspicion that they might be bugged or not working, then of course feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to reply and help you out. Just give me a decent explanation just so I understand what you're talking about. Now for the place to spend all of your Forzathon points that you've unlocked in the Forzathon events, the Horizon Forzathon shop. This week's Forzathon shop contains the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento from 2011. This is an auto show car, however it is 2.5 million credits, so if you'd rather spend 600 Forzathon points rather than 2.5 million credits, then this is your chance. We also have the Hoonigan Gymkhana 10 Ford Escort Rs Group A. That is a very big mouthful. This is a brilliant S1 class dirt car, and it's also an amazing level 9 car in the Eliminator. This can be purchased for 400 Forzathon points. It is in the auto show, however I do believe it is a couple of thousand, 100,000 credits. I think it's 500,000 credits, and you might also need this for one of the championships later on, so if you need a car for that when we come to it, then you can always come back to the Forzathon shop in order to purchase the Hoonigan. We have some Star 27 ankle socks for 75 Forzathon points, although I'm not really sure why you'd want to wear them. And we have the Gong car horn for 75 Forzathon points, if you want to spend it on that. Now we move on to the second of 5 sections in this week's festival playlist. This is the seasonal events section and contains the trial, event lab, seasonal playground games, seasonal PR stunts and seasonal championships. This is quite a long section, so let's get stuck into it with the trial. Okay then, so for those of you who don't know, the trial is a co-op event in which you and a team of 6 take on a team of 6 driver tars in a best of 3 tournament, where if the one team wins the first 2 races, the other team will automatically lose and you'll automatically get the prize if you are the winner. This is basically where you and your team have to get as many points by overtaking the driver tars in order to beat the driver tars overall on a points total. So again, it is working as a team, which means that if your team is rubbish or you are rubbish, then you are less likely to win, because the driver tars, when they overtake you, they get points, and if you overtake them, they get points. So basically it's to see how many points you can get against the driver tars in order to beat them in this event. This week then, the trial is called Off the Beaten Track, and it will get you 10 points towards the festival playlist and a number 65 Porsche 911 Desert Flyer. It requires B-class off-road vehicles, but do not get mistaken for unlimited off-road or off-road buggies or anything on the lines of off-road something. As usual, I have favourited all of the tunes that I'll be using or suggesting in this video to make it easier for me and to make the video a bit shorter so I don't have to hunt around in my garage. So the first tune I have is for the 2014 Ford Ranger T6 Rally Raid, I think that's what it's called. So this has got 525 horsepower and 1,574 newton meters of torque. This is from the 6.7 litre V8 turbo diesel. It is quite heavy, and I believe it is running stock tyres, which I think are kind of a mix between like road and off-road, so they're not full off-road race tyres, but they're still pretty grippy. And the car is 250,000 credits in the auto show, and the tune is actually by a guy named WodeFjandi. He sometimes comments in the comments section, because he has a bit of a battle to see who can get to the video first with Dobra, so you may have seen in the comments regarding stuff like that. So I'll try and remember to put his gamertag in the description so that you'll be able to identify him in the storefront if you're looking for this tune. If you want to use a tune from me, I do have one, and it's actually for the Porsche Macan Rally Raid LPR from 2018. It's using the Porsche Flat 6, producing nearly 500 horsepower, similar kind of weight. However, this time we do have the full off-road race tyres from the upgrade menu, some rally tyres, rally suspension, and overall a pretty weird looking car. However, again, it's 250,000 credits, and it does have a bit more, well, it has a bit less power and less torque. However, it is a bit quicker overall thanks to a lighter engine and obviously better grip. So this is found under my gamertag at Shylo 2017. Our next event is an Event Lab feature. This time it is from the Event Lab legend Twisted Knot. If you do not know of Twisted Knot, I'd highly recommend going and checking out his YouTube and Twitch channels. He is an absolute legend and he's been featured on AR12 Nick's Event Lab map videos probably a dozen times, because his maps are just absolutely incredible. I don't think I've played a whole bunch of them, but I have seen gameplay of them on AR12's channel and his channel, and they are absolutely epic. The amount of hours he puts into them, for example this one is 26 hours, is absolutely insane, and they really are good. So I'm actually quite glad that the developers have included a worthy map in the festival playlist as a feature, because some of the maps they feature are a bit rubbish in comparison to the level of effort that goes into these kinds of maps. Okay then, so this is called the Rally Trail Custom Open Day, and it's actually supposed to be open class in the day. However, because the developers don't really like to listen to what the creators say as usual, they've decided to put a restriction on it, which we'll come to in a second. But the description for this is: enter a world like no other, a rally event created from the ground up within the stadium, incredible detail, handmade over 26 hours, open class day version. So this will get you 3 points towards the festival playlist and a black modern Puebla dress clothing clothing reward. So the restriction for this one is A-class rally monsters. However, if you play this from the event lab in the pause menu regularly, it will just be an open class because it's the open class version. But you can't actually do that for this because you need to do the version that they've implemented into the Festa playlist, which is a bit annoying because I would quite like to do it in an open class, to be honest with you. Okay, so I actually only have one car to suggest for you for this one, but because it says open class, you're probably alright in taking a stock vehicle if you want to. However, if you want to use a tuned vehicle and you want to use one of my tunes, my tune is on the 1984 Opel Manta 400. It has 367 horsepower, it weighs just shy of a tonne, 3 kilograms off a tonne. It is running rally tyres, it's got a Forza rear wing. It's actually a pretty balanced tune in my opinion. It's 100,000 credits for the car and maybe about 50,000 credits for the upgrades approximately. So between 150 to 200,000 credits overall if you are buying the car and the tune. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good car because it's very nimble. You can slide it around corners like a proper rally car, even with it being all-wheel drive. It's very easy to drive in my opinion, and this will hopefully make the event lab as fun as it can get. I do apologise for my glitchy controller, by the way. It keeps kind of randomly going left to right. It's very annoying. I need to get a new one. The next event is the seasonal playground games. This time it is a best of 5 or best of 3 in Team Flag Rush. This will get you 3 points towards the Festa playlist and a Lancer GSR Evolution Mitsubishi from 1999. This is based at the Ekbalam Playground Games location, which is kind of in the jungle in the south east of the map. And the restriction for this one is B-class hot hatch, and as already mentioned, you'll be playing a best of 3 of Flag Rush only, so not King and Survival, just all Flag Rush. So similarly to the way that the trial works, whoever wins the first 2 or whoever gets the 2 rounds first is basically the winner. However, don't panic if you do lose or you're on the losing team. Do not quit or do not do whatever, because you still get the reward for finishing second. That is the good thing with games, because even if you don't like it and you end up losing, you'll still get the reward because both teams get the reward, so you'll still get your Lancer even if you lose. My first suggestion for this one then is the 2003 Ford Focus RS, and with the lovely RS livery that I've got on it. This is running just over 200 horsepower, rally tyres, and it's basically a grip build, so it's not going to be particularly fast on acceleration, so I'd probably recommend taking one of the other cars I've got to offer for games. So we've got the Renault Clio Rs 200 EDC from 2013. This is a pretty much a front wheel drive kind of, not power build but like speed based build. So it's got 330 horsepower, it's really light thanks to weight reduction. I believe it's running stock or drag tyres, so it's not going to be particularly good for games. However, if you want a bit of a meme car to use that's really cheap, this is the car for you. And if you want an overall really balanced and really competitive car, we have the 2003 Volkswagen Golf R32. This is running 310 horsepower, 1,500 kilograms exactly. Very, very cheap from the auto show. Just be mindful of the brakes because it is running stock brakes, but apart from that, this is a really, really good car and lots of fun for games. Now we have the 3 seasonal PR stunts of this week. Now if you're new to the channel at this point, you do actually get to see me drive a few cars, because with these PR stunts I'll give you as usual the tune and the basic overview of the challenge, and then I'll show you the gameplay of me completing the PR stunts. Quite often I do fail at least one or more of the PR stunts, and in the past 2 weeks we've had 2 really annoying danger signs. Let's hope that the stadium jump danger sign isn't really annoying too, but I don't think it will be. So I'm going to give you a basic overview of each of them, and then I'll show you gameplay of them in chronological order as we go through them. And this is the first run. Yeah, you always get to see the first run, me doing it live pretty much. In retrospect, so quite often I do slip up, and I suppose that just makes the video a bit better. The first PR stunt then is the Stadium Jump Danger Sign. It will get you 2 points towards the Festa playlist and a super wheel spin. All of these are actually get you 2 points in the super wheel spin, and all of them require S2 class anything goes, but actually I'll be using different cars for each of them I think this week. So the Stadium Jump Danger Sign then is the one by the stadium, hence the name. It requires 426 metres, and if you set the route you can see you need to come this way, so you start around this kind of like triangle really weird triangle kind of junction here. You speed all the way along the road, cut across a bit here, and then you just basically hope for the best. The main aim is to have enough speed to get into the stadium, because if you end up hitting like the roof or the seating area of the stadium, it all goes downhill. As long as you get into the stadium, you're pretty much guaranteed the objective, and it's actually less than my PB, so hopefully it won't be a really annoying one this week. Okay, so ordinarily I would use the Hoonigan Rs200 just to be safe, but because I'm going to use that for the speed zone, I'm going to use something else for this danger sign. So we have choices from the KTM over here, we have the Porsche, we have another Porsche here, we have another Porsche here, and we have the Rimac, and we also have the Ultima. Now the PB is actually set in my Ultima, and I believe it is the all-wheel drive version, because the rear-wheel drive version is a bit uncontrollable. So I'm going to hop in the Ultima and see if we can match the PB or even beat it. But of course we're only going to give it one run, because hopefully that's all we need to get the 426 metre season objective. Okay then, starting from our triangle junction, let's see if we can get this first time. You'll notice that the gears are a bit weird and that you do get a bit of understeer because of the all-wheel drive. Once you get through all the 10 gears, please don't ask me why I put 10 gears in it, by the way, you'll be hitting between 200 and 215 mile an hour. Very clearly into the stadium here, kind of into the middle. 457, so we actually beat our PB there by 5 metres, and we also beat the season objective by 31 metres. So very convincing kind of danger sign there, and thank God it wasn't an annoying one like the past 2 weeks. Next on the PR stunt agenda, we have the Ranchito speed zone. Again, 2-point super wheel spin and S2 class. So it's over here in Moulege, same with the drift zone, so we don't have to actually fast travel for the next one. 100 miles an hour exactly is the season objective, so that's 0.6 of a mile an hour less than my PB, which I believe I set in the Hoonigan. If not, maybe the RS6 when we had an A-class challenge. So for this one, you can start down here, get a massive run up, brake quite hard for this corner, and then kind of coast around. Or you can come around here, carry quite a lot of speed around here, and then accelerate down the hill. Either way, you're probably going to get mixed results. So I'm just going to start down here, carry loads of speed in, brake, coast around the corner, maybe do a bit of sliding around the corner, and hopefully we'll just be able to carry enough speed round to get our 100 mile an hour season objective. Shouldn't be too easy. I'm going to hop in the Hoonigan Rs200 with my tune shared under my gamer tag, and we'll see if we can complete it. Because of the angle we need to hit the speed zone, it might be helpful for you to start kind of on the dirt with the palm trees here, and kind of in between the road and the dirt. Then basically, again, we've got 8 gears in the Rs200, so you need to bank the gears a bit. Splash through the water, hopefully it won't slow you down too much. Then we basically need to absolutely floor it, and on the crest we're going to brake so that we don't carry too much speed. I've ran that over too much. I kind of underestimated the sharpness of that corner, so I'll just quickly rewind and give this another go. So the key thing is to brake as you're going over the crest of the jump, because that means that your car is pointed down towards the ground, which means you spend less time in the air, and it also helps you to control the speed into the corner. So we brake harder, tuck it right in, and then we can accelerate out. That wasn't great, that was kind of a bit iffy. Cut that corner a bit and then slide through. 103.07 miles an hour. That was a pretty scruffy run, if I'm honest with you. I could have done a lot better on the first corner because I kind of pointed it and then it kind of understeered and we ended up having to brake and all of that good bins. It wasn't great, however we managed to complete it kind of 1.5 times, if you get what I mean. Our final PR stunt for the spring season of Series 12 is the Ranchito Drift Zone, 2-point super wheel spin and S2 class. It's over here in Moulege again, and we need 98,500 points. I'm not really sure why we have 500 points. We could have had 98 or 99 or 100, but no, 98.5 are going to the developers. Makes sense, right? So with the drift zone, it doesn't really matter which way you enter, especially with this one. I tend to like to enter from this way because then you can slide round and carry more speed down the hill here towards the finish. If you go in this way, you're kind of battling with the uphill, and you do kind of get similar results with the kind of cars that I'm going to be using, but I just kind of prefer going from the side that we're on now. Okay, so I've hopped in my 1,600 horsepower Formula Drift it's number 777 Corvette Beast. This is running drag tyres, which means we kind of get a bit of grip on the dirt, but we don't get as much grip, so that we're going to actually be able to drift. Most of my kind of cars, especially off-road drift cars, are in S1 or below, so this is kind of the only one that's really suitable. It's made for road, but it'll be able to complete this easily enough because of the sheer power and the lack of grip from the drag tyres, which is exactly what we want when we're drifting. We're able to just point it round. If you struggle with drifting, I would recommend at least using manual, preferably manual with clutch, because then you can bang the clutch to keep the revs up. I'd also recommend keep tapping the handbrake, sometimes at the same time as banging the clutch, to keep the back end out, and just kind of going side to side like I am here. You'll have no problems. That was a pretty iffy run, 121,500 points, so we beat it by around 23,000. Yeah, it wasn't the best run I could have done, but it got it completed and it proved that the Corvette is an absolute beast. Now to finish off the seasonal events section of this week's Festo playlist, we have the 3 seasonal championships. These will all get you 5 points and their respective rewards. So we'll start off with the Gauntlet. This will get you 5 points towards your Festo playlist and a Ford Escort Rs 1800 from 1977. Keep that in mind because we'll actually be using that for the Blazer Trail Championship, so do keep that in mind. This requires S1 class rally monsters, and if you aren't aware, the Gauntlet is actually the longest dirt race in the game. As you can see from the orange route that is displayed on your map now, it goes well off the edge of where we can see, and even on minimum zoom, it goes all the way over to the west of the map. Not exactly sure where the finish line is, but what I can tell you is it takes between 15 and 20 minutes, especially when we're in S1 class. If we're in S2 class, maybe a bit quicker, but S1 class is kind of the sweet spot for dirt racing in my opinion. So S1 class rally monsters, let's go and see what we've got. First of all, we have the 1999 Ford Racing Puma Forza edition. This is tuned by Forza themselves, so I haven't touched this at all. It's got just over 500 horsepower, just shy of a tonne, and it's using, I believe, kind of Forza edition rally tyres, kind of a bit weird. It's not exactly the fastest, however it is very easy to control. You can absolutely send it through the corners, and even if it lacks on top speed, it's very reliable, and if you wanted a car that just, you can get through it with and have no trouble with, this is definitely the car to go with. If you want a bit of more of a fast or adventurous time, the Hoonigan Gymkhana 10 Ford Escort Cosworth Group A from 1991 is the car for you. It's got 840 horsepower, it's running off-road tyres, I believe the rally tyres rather than the full off-road race tyres, but I might be wrong. 500k in the auto show, but as we mentioned earlier, it is 400 Forzathon points in the Forzathon shop if you want to buy it that way. It's an incredible car. I've always loved it since I first drove it in the Eliminator, but it's an absolutely legendary car, and you'll be sure to have a lot of fun with it. My final choice is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS Forza edition, again tuned by Forza, so I haven't done a thing to it. 600 horsepower, again with the kind of Forza edition rally tyre weird things, and again a very reliable car with a great acceleration and handling. Next up, we have Dirt Endurance. This will get you 5 points towards your Festo playlist and a Subaru WRX STI Impreza from 2005. It requires B-Class Modern Rally, and actually the Subaru does qualify for that, so it doesn't really make sense that they've done it like that. So if you want to drive the Subaru and you don't already own it, complete the championship first, then get the Subaru, and then complete the championship again. Doesn't make sense, that, does it? But anyway, I would like to remind you that the endurance part of this means that there's actually 5 races, so it's a best of 5. So if you are doing it solo, you'll have to go to each of the 5 races and complete them. If you're doing it in co-op, it will be a best of 5, exactly the same way that the trial works. So if you or the driver tires that you're racing against wins the first 3 races, then the team that's losing will be knocked out. So if you win the first 3 races, you'll automatically win because it's a best of 5. Okay, so I've got two suggestions for this one, and it's the Mitsubishi versus Subaru, aka Evo versus Impreza face-off. So first of all, we have the 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 10 GSR. This is running 340 horsepower off-road race tyres, and in my opinion, it's the better of the two cars that I'm going to be suggesting here. It's really reliable, goes around corners like they don't exist, and it's just really fun, especially with its great acceleration. And then we have the Subaru Impreza WRX STI from 2005. As mentioned about a minute ago, this is the car that you actually win from this championship, and I still don't know why they've done it like that. However, if you do already own it, 320 horsepower-ish, it's running stock tyres, I believe, so not the grippiest, however still a bit more grippy than kind of street tyres. So both are equally good, however because of the off-road race tyres I'll be going with the Evo for this one. Our final championship to wrap up the Series 12 championships is the Blazer Trail Seasonal Championship. 5 points and a Nissan Pulsar, the same car that you need for the Forzathon if you remember from earlier in the video. It requires D-Class Classic Rally, and again you'll be racing on dirt racing. So as I mentioned earlier again, you can use the Ford Escort 77 that you win from the Gauntlet, so if you want to use do the Gauntlet first and then use the Escort for this championship, then that is absolutely understandable, because I do actually have a tune for the Escort. So let's head over to my garage and show you the tunes that I've got. Okay then, so first of all we have the 77 Escort Rs 1800 that has just been mentioned. It's actually running the stock amount of horsepower, 115 horsepower, however I've managed to equip it with off-road race tyres, Forza Aero, Forza, well, like the rally lights, very nice livery, rally livery, and also a couple of other bits and bobs. It's running rear-wheel drive, so instead of wasting PI on the all-wheel drive swap, I opted for a grip build with the off-road race tyres, and thanks to them off-road race tyres you basically get zero wheel spin, and it's actually a very fun car to drive. And despite having stock horsepower, you can't really get much more horsepower with all-wheel drive anyway, and so it'll pretty much be able to keep up and overtake people on the corners. And the alternative, if you're wanting to use a bit of a meme tune for this week, we have the 1965 Mini Cooper S. So this is running a 1.6 litre inline-4 turbo rally, which produces 668 horsepower, maximum weight reduction, maximum tyre width but on stock tyres, front-wheel drive, a Forza rear wing, race brakes, all the power upgrades, and basically everything apart from a change of tyres. It isn't actually at the top of D-Class, however I was talking to someone on Discord before and he got it to the top of D-Class, but actually said that my tune was more drivable. Although drivable is a word that isn't really used to describe this kind of car. Front wheel drive power build on the dirt isn't really very good. The only thing that's going to get you through is a bit of luck and a bit of endurance. We are now at the halfway point of this Festo playlist in terms of sections. We move on to the third section, which is the challenges section. First of all, we have the Treasure Hunt Rally on the Wild Side. This will get you 3 points towards your Festo playlist and 100 Forzathon points to spend in this week's Forzathon shop. The treasure clue for this week is the following. Victory awaits whoever can brave the dirt with a rallying cry of nostalgia. So I'm going to break down this clue, tell you what you need to know, and then I'm going to head and complete the challenge myself, and then I'll show you where the treasure chest is located. So after I've been through and broke down this clue, if you don't want to see where the treasure chest is located because you don't want it to be spoiled, then I do have to give a spoiler alert and tell you that you should either turn the video off, skip about a minute in the video, or go ahead and complete it yourself first before resuming the video. I just have to say that so that I don't get comments saying that I broke a spoiler or whatever, you know what I mean. Okay then, so let's break down the clue. It's actually quite a simple one this week, and I actually managed to figure it out myself for once, because usually I go over to Stevio's channel, Stevio2175, and just watch his video without actually working it out myself, but this week I managed to work it out in about 10 seconds. So basically you need to win a dirt race in a retro rally car. So as you can see, that is a picture of the Audi Sport Quattro, which is a retro rally car in the car categorization system of Forza, and behind it is the Horizon Wilds icon, which is the dirt racing outpost, and then from the words victory awaits, that infers that you need to come first. So basically you need to win a dirt race in a retro rally car. So if you are eagle-eyed and you're very, very clever and you put the clues together, then you might recognise that actually Chapter 3 of the weekly Forzathon from earlier requires you to win a dirt race in the Pulsar. The Pulsar is actually classed as a retro rally car, so if you want to combine these chapters in order to get your treasure hunt completed, sorry I went blank there, then you can do so. However, please do not complete an event lab in order to do this, because this will bug up your treasure hunt. Even if you do it in the Forzathon and not the treasure hunt, it will bug up your treasure hunt and you will then not be able to complete it. Okay, so once you've completed your dirt race, Treasure Challenge Complete will pop up and you'll be able to give a clue as to where the treasure chest is located. It works in a similar way to the barn finds in the game, where you're given a circle. This time it is an orangey pinky circle, and inside there somewhere is the treasure chest, and your objective is to go ahead and find the treasure chest. But you do actually get a helping hand, because if you go into your festival playlist and go ahead to the treasure hunt icon, you'll see that it is changed to give you a clue as to where the treasure chest is located. So you can see that the chest is placed somewhere near a Horizon Wild sign. I know, you might not, but I know that inside that circle is the Horizon Wilds outpost, so I know it's going to be somewhere near the Horizon Wilds outpost where the Horizon Wild signs are. So, final spoiler alert, if you don't want to see the exact location of where this treasure chest is located, pause the video or skip a bit in the video now, so that you don't get it spoiled for you. Okay then, so as you can see, actually if I just quickly filter my map to festival sites, this is where the icon for the Horizon Wilds outpost is, and it's just to the west / the left of that, on the left kind of branch of road there in the Horizon Wilds outpost. You can see that the chest is here, so the picture in the festival place is taken from this kind of angle, and basically if you just go ahead and smash it, you'll get yourself 100 Forzathon points and 3 points towards the festival playlist. I hope that has helped you complete the treasure chest, and don't forget not to complete an event lab and complete a full race. Next up we have the photo challenge, #RunningWild. This wants you to photograph the 1999 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 4 GSR at the Horizon Wilds outpost. This will get you 2 points towards the festival playlist and a police siren car horn. The Mitsubishi can be found in the auto show for between 20 and 30,000 credits, or it can be won in the seasonal playground games, which remember you get for finishing first or second in the playground game, so even if you lose you still get the Mitsubishi. So you need to hop in your Mitsubishi and head over to the Horizon Wilds outpost if you're not already at it from completing the treasure chest. And then you need to take a picture somewhere within there. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of what a half decent picture or objective picture what looks like now, just so you've got a bit of an example to follow. Okay, so you can pretty much go anywhere within the Horizon Wilds outpost as long as it's got one of the Horizon Wilds signs in and some vague kind of hints that you are at the Horizon Wilds outpost. It will be absolutely fine, and of course make sure you got your Mitsubishi in it. So mine's tuned, hence the the rally lights, the mud flaps and the front splitter there. And it's also got a really nice rally livery. So basically just hit A. If you've got Horizon Promo on the go, you'll see you get a point towards that. We've got double ticks there. We photographed the Mitsubishi and we photographed the Horizon Wilds. And that is the photo challenge completed for this week. The final challenge from the challenges section of this week's festival playlist is an Eliminator Battle Royale challenge. It's been the same since the start of the game. I kind of wish they made it a bit more inventive. But maybe they will do in the Illuminati update that's been rumoured for the future few months. It is finish 30th or better, and it will get you 2 points towards your festival playlist, and then this isn't even my final form for the link reward that you'll be able to use in free roam races or the Eliminator. So it's very simple. Go ahead to the Eliminator either on the location on the map or from your pause menu in the online tab. And then go ahead and make sure you stay in the game until it is 30 drivers left or below. If you're like me and you quite like the Eliminator, you might want to try and win it. If not, you might just camp around on the edge of the arena until it gets to 30 drivers left or below, and then basically just give up. What I'd recommend is when it gets to that stage, if you do want to kind of exit the game, I'd recommend not quitting, because then you're running the risk of it kind of not completing the challenge. What I'd recommend is trying to find one of the pink dots on the map, either challenge it or let it challenge you. And then basically let them win, and hopefully that'll get the challenge completed for you. If you want to experiment by just playing out quitting, then feel free and let me know the results so I can encourage it in future videos. We now have our fourth section of this week's festival playlist, the Hot Wheels event section, containing a PR stunt and a seasonal championship. Obviously, to have access to these, you'll need to have purchased the Hot Wheels expansion, which comes with the premium add-ons bundle, or you can purchase it separately from the Microsoft Store. However, if you don't own the Hot Wheels expansion and you're trying to get the 100% Festival Playlist achievement, by not completing these Hot Wheels challenges, you'll still be able to get 100% in the Festival Playlist, and you'll still get the achievement for it without having these points on the Hot Wheels challenges. I really like that the developers did that, because it enables people without the expansion to get the 100%, whilst also being able to incorporate content for people who do have the Hot Wheels expansion. So very, very clever there from the developers. First of all, then, we have the Forest Escape Danger Sign, which gets you 2 points, and that's super wheel spin. Same as the other PR stunts, it requires S2 class, and you get the same rewards. However, this time I'm not going to be showing gameplay of it, because I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be travelling over to the Hot Wheels expansion during this video, as it takes too long, and just travelling backwards and forwards is just too much of a faff. I also can't show you kind of an image of it on the map, because when I haven't, like when the season changes, if I don't go over to the Hot Wheels expansion, it doesn't refresh the map, which is a bit weird. I don't really know why it does that. So it's basically still shows the challenges from the last week, if you get what I mean. It's very annoying, but what I can do is suggest you a couple of cars based off the cars that I've got favorited in my garage for this week's on main map PR stunts. Okay then, so what I can recommend for this PR stunt is that you take something that is very fast, because Hot Wheels is all about speed and acceleration, and something that's pretty much similar to the cars that we use for the Stadium Jump Danger Sign. So basically any of these cars that I've got in my garage will work, apart from the Formula Drift, because that's a drift car. So the Hoonigan Rs200 is obviously really good, and the Porsche 918 is probably quite a good choice because of its sheer raw speed, and it's quite light. The Rimac is also a good choice, if you can get lots of speed from that on the Hot Wheels expansion, and of course the Ultima that we use for the Stadium Jump Danger Sign. Any of these cars will be able to get it completed. The core thing of the Hot Wheels expansion is basically just speed and yeet it off the danger sign, and that's pretty much all you need. You might want a pretty good big run up, so just see what it does when you get there. The seasonal championship for the Hot Wheels expansion this week then is called Hit the Orange Trail. It gets you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a Subaru WRX Impreza STI from 2011. It requires A-Class Rally Monsters, as it's actually the same restrictions as the Event Lab from back over here. And again, the only car I have to suggest for you is the Opel Manta 400 that I suggested for the Event Lab. Tune is shared under my gamertag Shylo 2017, and just before we finish on this one, I do want to point out that the developers actually put a photograph on of the wrong Subaru, because the one pictured is the 2005 and the one that you actually win is the 2011, so well done developers. Now we have the final section of this week's festival playlist. The fifth and final section is called the monthly events and contains 2 monthly rivals events. For both of these, you will get 4 points towards the festival playlist for each of them, and these are split across all 4 seasons, so you'll notice that you get 1 point added on for each season and 4 points added on to the whole series score, and this occurs for both of them. So if you complete both of them at once, you'll get 2 points across each season and then 8 points towards the series by doing some simple maths. They both also require you to post a clean lap to complete them, so you don't actually have to beat your rival or get like top 1000 or something like that. You just have to get a clean lap, and that basically means try not to use rewind because that will flag your lap. Try not to collide with a wall because that will also flag your lap, and try not to get reset by, for example, missing a checkpoint or somehow flipping your car if you manage to do that, because that will also flag your lap. If your lap time has an exclamation mark next to it, that means it is dirty or has been flagged, and you'll probably notice that pop up sometime during the lap. You basically want there to be no exclamation mark and just a clean lap. So if you want to be clever about it, you might want to drive around really slow or pick like a really slow rival or something like that, but it actually doesn't matter because you don't need to beat your rival, you just need to post a clean lap. And once you have done so, you can just hit quit. Don't click restart like I did once after getting a really fast lap. Just click quit and it will have it completed for you. And remember that the points are split across the series, so you don't just get 4 points for the spring season, and of course the points will be added on to summer, autumn and winter as well if you complete it this week. Okay then, so that is it for this video guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and found it to be helpful, I massively appreciate it if you could hit the like button and potentially subscribe to the channel. It'd massively help me out and it'd help me on the road to 400 subscribers. If you've got any video suggestions or any other comments, then let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to reply, I'll be happy to have some conversations with you guys, and if you guys want to have your own conversations in the comments, I'll be happy to just let you do that. That is absolutely what the comment sections are for on my videos. I'll be back next week with the Summer of Series 13 Festival Playlist Guide, and if you want to see more info on the Series 13 Festival Playlist and the update in general, you can go ahead to the Forza official YouTube channel to watch the replay of the live stream, or you can go to channels such as AR12 Gaming, JakeXVX or similar channels that do update kind of previews after the live streams to get the information on that. That is what I'm going to be going and doing tonight or tomorrow to get myself clued up on Series 13, which, if you do not know, is the 10-year anniversary of Forza Horizon, since Forza Horizon 1 was released back in Colorado in 2012. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye!